I can barely contain my excitement after watching this episode of One Punch Man. Being a long-time manga reader that never expected this series to ever get an anime adaptation, and now to see it, this is quite marvelous to behold. Because seeing these scenes animated with voice actors on top of them, this comedy, bringing One Punch Man to life, it is just such a good time to be an anime fan, or a One Punch Man fan, to be honest. Oh. Episode 2. I gotta say, it is following the manga perfectly. It's completely following the manga, so no complaints there. So I'm just gonna move past that right now. So let's get into this episode. I will say right now, the way Madhouse is using their budget along with their team to make the animation and art, along with the voice actors and then the camera angles, they definitely are putting a lot of work into this series, and it's showing. It's definitely showing, because if you compare this series in terms of production and probably effort the Madhouse team has put into different series over the past couple months, you could see to where their priorities lie in One Punch Man over previous series they made. I mean, let's just be real here and think about this. If you look at it and compare, it's obvious that Madhouse cares more about One Punch Man, which I guess that's to be expected. As we know, earlier on this year, like the beginning of this year, there was a poll that said, like, what anime or manga series would you want to be turned into an anime? Like, there was a big poll, and, like, there was Japanese fans, like, you know, voting on what they would like to be turned into an anime that's never had an anime before, and One Punch Man dominated the list in one, so that's probably what played a huge role in One Punch Man getting an anime. And to see how, I guess, Madhouse knew that One Punch Man was a very popular series, because, I mean, if you go figure, Viz already picked up the manga. It's coming over to the States. It's already in the States, kind of. And then you also gotta go figure that Madhouse knows that this is very popular, so they're gonna be putting in their best team for this series, and it definitely shows. It really shows that Madhouse is putting a lot of priorities on this series. So, one thing I want to point out that some might not understand, let me talk to the new fans. This is going to be the anime onlys that have not read the manga. The anime onlys, I want to let you know that this series isn't a series you should take 100% serious. Like, I'm not saying you should completely turn off your brain, but it's a series to where you should just enjoy the ride. Have fun. Now, that's what type of series One Punch Man is. It's a seinen series that is about a main male character so fucking broken that just there's no challenge. But that is the comedy. That is where the comedy lies. This character is so unbelievably broken that the situations he gets into with, like, you know, the fight with the Mosquito Girl in this episode with Genos, and Genos is having this hardcore badass fight throughout the entire episode. Like, let's just take a moment to laugh at that, okay? This entire episode, like, about 50 to 60% of the episode was seeing Genos just fighting for his life against Mosquito Girl. She was using all her powers, controlling these mosquitoes. You see it to how, you know, she got stronger, she was super fast, ripping up these buildings like a fucking monster, and just nobody stood a chance against, you know, Mosquito Girl. And Genos was having a hard fight. He was getting ripped in pieces. He was falling down. I gotta admit that Madhouse did a good job on the way that scene was executed, just showcasing the strength level of these characters compared to Saitama. They're definitely executing that strength difference quite well. But before I get into that, though, because that's an entirely different segment of this video, let's talk about that fight some more. So, what's funny about this fight is that at the beginning of the episode, it starts off with, like, a mosquito attack. Like, mosquitoes are going around draining the blood out of different animals and humans and leaving them mummified on the ground. And we see it to where there's cattle and stuff on the ground kind of dead, and you have it to where all the civilians have to stay indoors because if they go outside, well, we know what's going to happen. You're going to turn into a fucking skeleton and die. So, at the beginning of the episode, Saitama, it opens up, and he's just like, oh, there's a mosquito problem, and he just starts watering his cactus. No sexual pun there, but he starts watering his cactus, and all of a sudden this fly or mosquito pops up in front of him, and what's funny about the scene is he's trying to kill this mosquito like he's just slapping himself, and I think we've all been in this situation before. Like, I felt like that entire, you know, section of this episode was to showcase just how fucking annoying a fly or a mosquito can be, and it wasn't really meant to be taken seriously, because if you look at the ending part of the fight, when, you know, Saitama comes in, he just slaps Mosquito Girl, and she just, blood all over the freaking skyscraper. It's done. Fucking done. But that's where the comedy lies, because Saitama was having such an issue with this mosquito, and it just goes to show you how annoying mosquitoes are. He was just trying to kill it and all that, and like, I've had that situation for when I'm actually recording a video. I'm not joking. I have had many times where I'm sitting here recording a video, and a mosquito or fly just pops up and just lands on the fucking lens. I'm like, and it just keeps going back and forth, and I try to get it, and I can't get it. You don't know how many times that's happened to me. It annoys the fuck out of me. So seeing Saitama have this situation in this episode, and he's just trying to slap it and all that, priceless. But what's really priceless about it is how he just comes in after Genos has this big, epic fight with some beautiful animation, and he just one-shots it. Just one-shots that freaking mosquito girl, just slaps her up against the wall, and just spray blood everywhere. So I think that should just shows you what type of series we're getting into. Just that scene alone, I think, shows what series we're getting into. But let's continue on. So the dialogue. One of the middle sections of this episode was about Genos revealing his past, revealing more about himself, and giving characterization. And now this is probably one of the funniest parts about it, because it makes fun of anime that usually have a lot of exposition, like 4 to 5 minute exposition right at the beginning of their first episode. That's kind of what, you know, Genos just did in this episode. He had this huge-ass fucking character backstory, just talking about, like, how his parents died, to what drives him, what motivates him, like, how he died in the past, the doctor saved him, he's hunting after the cyborg, he's wanting to get vengeance, and then, you know, this entire story is just going on and on and on and on, and I mean, as you see it drag on, if you look closely, you'll see Saitama, he's like, and he's just getting fucking impatient. Like, have you ever been in a meeting or something, and you're hearing someone talk, and you're like, oh my fucking god, just hurry fucking up. You know, like, you're in your mind, you're like, just hurry the fuck up, just hurry the fuck up, just hurry the fuck up. That's the thoughts you have. And that's kind of what, you know, Saitama was thinking. He's like, just why? Just why is this story so fucking long? You're wasting my screen time. But anyways, jokes aside, as the story continued on, what made fun of this and what made fun of other anime was because when Saitama, he said his last line when he was in the middle of discussion, he's like, shorten this shit down to 20 words or less. What the fuck is wrong with you? GG, 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 GG. Just Saitama just shit. Just shit on that. Just, enough said. So, moving past that, Genos wants to be the disciple of Saitama, and Saitama's like, okay, I'll take you on. He's like, here, let me tell you how I became what I am, how strong I got. Of course, I got interrupted in the middle of that, which I cannot wait to see anime-onlys react to that. I just cannot wait to see how anime-onlys gonna hold back. But I cannot wait to see next episode for that one. Anyways, after we found out that, you know, Genos wants to become the disciple of Saitama, Saitama's like, yeah, he's gonna tell him how he got stronger. We get into the next fight of the episode with these, House of Evolution. Yeah, that's what they're called, the House of Evolution. These enemies come in, and they're wanting to capture Saitama, because after he destroyed Mosquito Girl, like nothing, just slaps her, and then the dude was asking, like, why is he naked? Anyways, go capture him, we need him. So they were trying to capture Saitama, which did not turn out well at all, because they got wrecked. Like, they come into Saitama's house, like that freaking praying mantis dude comes into Saitama's roof through it, and Saitama's like, pay for my roof, just punches his face in. Like, the dude doesn't even barely get any dialogue at all. Just, he breaks in through the roof, he's like, hey, I'm here, and just, his face is gone, just gone. And Saitama's like, pay for my fucking roof. He's dead. And then they go outside, and, you know, Genos like, Master, I'll get the other two outside. And then you already see these two already in the freaking ground with their heads, like, just 6 feet under. And that, it just goes to show you how fast, just how fast Saitama is. He's just so ridiculously fast, like, it's too funny. And then as the fight, you know, continued on, you see it to where, like, Saitama, he gets drug into the ground. And what's great about this moment is that, you know, this character, this Beast King, or the King of Beasts, like the lion guy, he was just talking and monologuing, like, how I'm so strong, like, you can't beat me, and all sorts of shit like that. And Saitama's in the ground, and it looks like he can't move. Because normal situations from any other anime or manga, I've seen this in other anime and manga. I have seen characters being, like, pulled underground, and they can't move at all, and they're defenseless. And that's kind of the joke here as well. Saitama, or One Punch Man, was making fun of that entire cliche, or that, you know, part of certain manga or anime. And to see how he just walks out of the hole like nothing, and you have the characters, they just look at him, and the way they react is so priceless because they don't even have any dialogue, no words. You just can tell by their face expression, like they don't even know what to think. This guy just walked out of this hole, and he was stuck up to his fucking chin, and he just gets out of this hole like it's nothing. And probably their first thought was like, did you just not put him in the ground hard enough? I mean, what the hell? But the face expressions of that scene when he was just struggling to the ground, yeah, 10 out of 10. And that's about it. I mean, there was the diving underground, he's like, found you. Out of all the scenes of One Punch Man, I think that scene made me laugh the most in this episode. So yeah, One Punch Man, beautiful. Just beautiful. Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful series. Of course, there's going to be some that might not like it because comedy is subjective, and maybe some don't like an overpowered character that's just so fucking broken, it's just like, oh my god. But, I mean, hey, if you like the series, you're going to get more of this. I'm just going to let you know now. As a manga reader, you're going to get more of this type of stuff, but I will let you know now that it will get into a story. Like, it does develop into arcs and stories, so don't worry about that. We will get a story. There is a story going on, just you gotta wait for it. For now, though, we're just going to have, you know, some of these scenes like what we've had with the setup of the characters. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.